Hi, I'm Will from Tested. We are here at the Modernist Cuisine Labs in Bellevue, Washington. I'm here with Sam Burke, who's going to cook a steak.
Yep.
Kind of using a novel technique, something I've never seen before.
It's called Cryo-Fried.
So you guys do this with hamburgers, right?
We do,
This is the burger treatment that we've read so much about. So what do we have here?
We have an aged ribeye.
Okay.
I cooked it in a circulator to 57 degrees C.
Okay.
So that's medium rare.
So sous vide ribeye in a vacuum bag, ready to go. We could eat this right now.
You could,
but
yeah.
Wouldn't have all the kind of nice char and stuff on the outside.
Exactly.
Okay.
So here's a bucket of liquid nitrogen and a pot of really hot oil. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to freeze the steak.
Okay.
Just on the outside. So I'm going to submerge it in the liquid nitrogen for 30 seconds. Then I'm going to transfer it right to the hot oil, and it's going to fry up without overcooking in the middle.
And you can do that because the liquid nitrogen is going to react with the oil like you would if you added water to the oil or something like that, right?
No, you don't want to add water to
That would be bad,
That
yeah.
would be bad.
But the liquid nitrogen is going to be gone before.
Liquid nitrogen will dissipate, and you'll just have a really, really cold steak on the outside. But in the middle, it'll still be medium rare the whole time.
This sounds very exciting. Let's say you have a timer here.
I do.
Is there anything I can do to help, or just get out of your way so as to avoid losing fingers?
So you'll notice I have this in here already. If you leave it in there, it stays frozen, and the steak doesn't stick to it. So
otherwise, it's like sticking your tongue on a pole.
Exactly.
In the winter. A lot of nitrogen fog coming off of here. I feel like we're in a mad scientist lab. Kind of, I guess we are.
Okay, so.
Okay, that looks like a frozen solid chunk of meat. But you assure me it's only frozen on the outside, the tiny outside area. Nicely done.
In it goes.
Okay, so now how long do we cook in here?
35 seconds.
That's it?
Pretty much the same amount of time that you put it for the liquid nitrogen in. The liquid nitrogen's around negative 200 C, and the oil's about positive 200 C.
Okay.
So it should even out. Sometimes you need a little more time in the oil. We'll see.
So really, the goal now is to fry everything that was frozen in the nitrogen.
Exactly. All we want to do is create that Maillard reaction around the whole piece of meat.
Okay.
That's 35 seconds.
Oh, that looks lovely. It looks almost like a piece of bacon. The Maillard has gone so crazy there. And what does the Maillard reaction actually do?
It's all this, where this was all flabby and pale before, it's all this caramelization of sugar and carbohydrates on the outside of the piece of meat, and that's where you get all your caramelized flavor from.
All the kind of the char that you've come to expect from a good steak, right?
Exactly.
Cool.
And that's a cryo-fried steak.
Next up, Johnny's going to teach me how to make the perfect French fry with a fluffy, light interior and a really crispy, delicious outer shell. How do you do this, Johnny?
Well, the first thing we do is we cut big old potatoes and we cook them sous vide.
Okay.
And what that achieves is essentially a lovely, fluffy interior.
And is this just a water inside the sous vide
This is
bag?
actually a brine. So what we've actually done is we pre-season the potatoes. So it's about a 1.5% salt brine and a little bit of baking soda that acts as an abrasive and helps promote the color.
And these are just normal russets, or?
Yeah, these are just russets cut to about a centimeter and a half.
So not a waxy potato, basically.
Yes.
Okay.
A nice starchy potato will be perfect for that. Now, once we've cooked them sous vide in our giant steam oven, they're almost falling apart, as you can see. They're very tender. So they have that lovely sort of light, fluffy texture.
So at this
on the
point,
inside.
you've gotten the inside right. And
Exactly.
from here on out, it's just making the exterior crispy.
Right. So what we do to make the exterior crispy is now we use this device. This is an ultrasonic bath. Ultrasonic bath typically used to clean jewelry, equipment.
This is the thing with all that stuff inside that you jam your wife's wedding ring in.
Exactly.
And it comes out beautiful
Rings.
clean.
I can clean my glasses in here.
Crazy.
Now, what this does to the potato is a process called cavitation. Now, what it does is it shoots ultrasonic waves through the water, and you can hear these waves.
Wow, that comes on all at once.
And you can see them just
There's standing waves on the surface of the water.
floating through. Now, cavitation is a process by which these waves create tiny air bubbles and blow them up on the surface of the potato.
Oh, okay.
And then what that does is it creates this fuzzy, crazy texture on the outside.
It looks almost like mold or something growing on the outside of the potato.
Exactly.
It's not.
It's not, no. But what it does do is it increases the surface area of the potato on the surface.
Oh, okay. So it's like ciliated. It's like the lining of your intestine or anything like that.
Exactly.
Just tons of surface area, not much potato.
And when we fry that expanded surface area, it creates an incredible crunch.
Something magical is going to happen.
Exactly. So, after we've sonicated these fries,
And how long do they go in the sonication?
45 minutes on each side, so
Okay.
hour and a half.
Okay, and you just flip.
Just flip them right over.
Seems very straightforward. So now we're behind the counter. We're at the fryer, which is where you normally make French fries, right?
Yeah.
The traditional technique, the way I've always made French fries, is that you fry them, you take them out, kind of let them rest for a little while, and then you fry them again, and you end up with kind of soggy. I don't want to say waterlogged because they're not waterlogged, but they're soggy, oily fries a lot of times.
Right.
At this point, we have, I guess these are the sous vide sonicated fries?
Right, so these have been cooked super tender and they've been sonicated for an hour and a half. And this is actually where our technique becomes quite traditional. We're gonna blanch it in a 325 degree fryer first. And what that's gonna do is sort of create the fuzziness that we were talking about and really lock it in.
Okay. And this is right after coming out of the sous vide?
Correct, yes. We're gonna give that a nice blanch till it's sort of pale. And what you get there afterwards is, and you can kind of see it, is that sort of fuzzy roughness on the outside there.
They're much more textured than they normally
Exactly.
are.
It's as if someone had braced them on the outside. When we have a nice, set, pale color, we now go into the 375 degree oven, or fryer.
Okay.
You can see it, sort of, the difference between the raw and the blanched.
Definitely looks like
it starts
French
to
fries.
it starts to come out. The cavitation really starts to come out. So those are nicely blanched, and we let them cool.
So how did you come up with the cavitation process?
Well, initially we were working on ways to sort of impregnate starch into these French fries, and we're thinking, hey, what a great way it would just be to sort of force it in there with ultrasonic waves. And then in the process, we found that just putting them in raw, or not raw, but naked, yielded quite a good result. And it actually utilized the starch, existing starch on the French fry to our advantage.
Because the potato's already a very starchy food.
Correct, yeah. They actually have enough starch there to create the effect we want. So now they're coming out and they are...
Oh, those look unbelievable.
Crazy crispy.
Look at how brown those are. I mean, they literally look like they've had something put on the outside, but they absolutely have not.
This is all just the ultrasonic waves and the existing potato starch. And you get that sort of almost a lattice on the outside of crispiness.
Thank you so much, Johnny. We'll be back with salad, and then we get to taste stuff, which I'm really looking forward to.
Thank you.
We're back with Max Billet. Max, what are we doing here? We're getting ready to plate a meal.
We're gonna put it all together. You've got the steak, you've got the fries. We're gonna make this beautiful salad with the fresh cherries of the season, some pickled mushrooms, some pea vines, some local sheep milk yogurt. Actually, cheese. It's fresh cheese.
Okay.
To give a little bit of acidity and creaminess to the steak.
Oh, fantastic.
And then I really wanted to pair it with a really good local wine.
Oh,
Emily
beautiful.
Cellars. Anna's a good friend of ours.
Okay.
And she may not love me putting her wine in a blender,
Well,
but
I mean,
we're gonna do it anyway.
If you handcraft a lovely wine, then the way to get the most out of it is to hyper-decant
Exactly,
it, right?
we're honoring the ingredients, and exactly. So it's a Malbec. It's a beautiful Malbec, but it's a little tight. You know, we always let it breathe. So 20 seconds in the blender, just enough.
This equals 20 minutes of breathing, right?
Exactly.
Fantastic. But the idea is basically that you're aerating a bottle of wine in 30 seconds instead of 30 minutes or whatever. More surface area exposed to the air.
You're preserving a lot more of those top notes.
It's important to note if you do this at home, make sure your blender is much bigger than the bottle of wine.
Wine frappe. We're about 10 seconds in.
This is scary every single time.
Look at this. I love because you just see the bubbles, coming down, and they just can't sustain themselves because of the alcohol. So it's just
no surface tension. So
no surface tension. Alcohol is a foam inhibitor, and it's doing its job beautifully and very visually.
So you don't have
now.
to do the thing with your nose and dunking into the beer.
Right.
Not that I would advocate that.
So we're just gonna pour this into a nice little beaker.
Always decant into a beaker. And fewer bubbles each pour.
Fewer bubbles each pour, and they will disappear by the time you're ready to drink them.
Fantastic.
So this is a wine that has beautiful cherry notes, and so combining the meat, this really good aged ribeye, we've cryo-seared, a light cherry salad, some of these pickled mushrooms, It's going to be quite. I hope you enjoy it.
This looks lovely. I can't wait to taste.
So we've got this. So we got the steak.
Through the magic of TV cooking.
Yes, it has arrived.
So this is our cryo-fried sous vide.
Exactly. So it's been cooked at 57 Celsius to a core temperature 56 Celsius.
Okay.
We've cryo-seared it, so it should have barely any gradient. Still beautifully warm. I'm gonna cut the different pieces I love. This is the dorsi, the cap is my favorite part. It's got a darker meat
and kind of striated nicely, right?
Exactly. Lots of marbling. The lighter loin part, and then this little. This is the chef's part.
Okay.
But I'm going to give it to you today.
So you keep this back and you
Usually,
reserve this.
Yeah, because it's like too fatty for people, and it's not as pretty. So, so we just put a few little fries down, and so you've got our ultrasonic fries, and you notice that incredible sort of hedgehoggy.
So. Yeah, it looks like you coated them with something, but they're just potato. I witnessed from birth to fry.
It's the natural starch from the potatoes that is released through those fissures, and that creates that sort of coating, basically, but also a lot more surface area, so more crunch, and also by cooking them sous vide, and we season the water in which they're cooked.
The brine.
The brine.
Yeah.
So they're seasoned all the way through. They're as tender as mashed potatoes. So the textural contrast is very unique.
And there's normally when you salt a French fry right when it comes out of the fryer, that's one of the things that helps make them soggy, right?
That's right.
Releases the moisture inside the
moisture,
fry.
and we've done that beforehand.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's a completely different French fry experience. Everybody should do this.
So I'm gonna put this a little bit on the side. This is the sheep's milk cheese.
Okay.
It's just add a little bit of freshness, and you can just
make it
pair
a
it with your steak. I'm gonna put the steak across it. It's very light, and then pea vines.
Oh, more pea vines. I love I'm a convert on the pea vines, by the way.
Just some fresh cherries. We just cut off the beautiful sides. This is a mixture of honchi meiji and velvet pioppino mushrooms. So just really, they're very earthy, very, and then a little bit of the pickle brine. Nice black pepper.
And you pickle a lot of stuff here yourself.
We pickle we have so many pickles. We just got a whole case of ramps. So we're gonna have those for the season. But it's such a short season. It's so ephemeral.
June is the best time of year for eating. I think.
Yeah. We're just.
Of course, I say it in the fall. I say the fall is the best time of the year for eating.
So just simple. We have an extra little garnish that I think you'll find very interesting. So.
That's spinach butter, right?
This is very bistro of us. So.
This looks lovely.
The salads. Yeah, so you have the spinach butter, which is basically a fascinating little chemistry trick that, what is solubility? What is fat soluble? And the chlorophyll and a lot of the flavor from spinach is fat soluble. Mm-hmm. So we blend spinach juice and butter.
Okay.
And then centrifuge it, and what you get is.
So the spinach infuses the butter in the centrifuge.
Exactly.
Oh, that's fascinating.
So here comes the good part.
Oh. You've got the green on this.
You have to see the color.
It's intense. It's so green. It's black.
No, it's an incredible color. So we're gonna do a little composition of the 3 cuts.
Okay.
Let me make sure it's okay.
Oh, look! Oh, that's. Thank you for tasting.
I care. And just to show you
that's gorgeous.
There's no gradient.
I mean, it is
edge to edge,
infinitesimally thin, the Maillard section of the meat.
And so we will give you, and this is the part. I'm going to give you a little bit more meat than I would normally.
I think I'm going to have some competition.
I think you deserve it.
Well, I've got to maintain my girlish figure, Max.
So, and then the cap.
This is
one slice of that.
This is absolutely gorgeous.
I like the fat, but
I like a little fat.
Okay,
I've got I'm no Jack Sprat. Now this is something you can do at home.
See, this is very.
Well, maybe not the cryo-fry.
Without the cryo-fry, but you just sear it. You know what? Use a MAP gas torch.
Exactly. Just like you would use as a plumber, right?
So the plumbing torch is this guy right here, and it burns at a very, very, very high BTU. And so if you want to add a little bit of extra sear, even now, it's not going to affect the actual cooking, but it's going to give you more of the Maillard reaction.
Fantastic.
I mean, really, you can see it's so quick.
That's amazing.
And then you smell that fat and that surface. So you're all set. I've seasoned you up. Now
I think
we get a little bit of spinach butter.
Spinach butter is.
You have to see this on the plate. That color.
Oh, that is gorgeous. And there's no strange chemicals or anything involved with this at all.
This
is all technique
as
and
it gets.
fantastic. Thank you so much, Max. I'm going to taste some food.
And you have some wine for you.
Oh, this is what we've been waiting for all day. Thank you so much, sir. I'm going to taste this in just a moment, but thank you so much, Max Billet, for your time today. This has been so much fun. It's an amazing facility you guys have here. I can't wait to taste this any longer. We'll be back with more from Modernist Kitchens very soon. Okay, I'm gonna try a piece of plain steak. Oh, the meat's cooked beautifully. Just, oh, and then you get a little bit of the spinach. Just a tiny hint of the spinach. It's difficult to describe how nice it is to have a perfectly medium rare piece of meat like this. It's interesting because the spinach butter by itself it doesn't leap out at you. That was a tiny little taste, but
no. It's very subtle, but that's where there's the beauty of the aesthetic as well. And
it's gorgeous.
And it's you think steak and cream spinach, and this is a very lightened version.
That is. I never would have thought of steak and cream spinach eating this, Max.
A little pickled mushroom.
Oh, the greens are just a little bit bitter, and the cherries contrast with that really nicely. The cherries have a little tartness. That is spectacular. You need to find out where you get your olive oil too.